If you think you are a leader and no one is following you, you are just taking a walk. Coming up. Dali Mpofu has left EFF to join MK Party. Yep, he even dropped a bomb to say he has been part of MK for the longest of time. He was even the part and the parcel of forming of MK Party. Can you believe it? Check this out.
Economic Freedom Fighters National Chairperson Advocate Dali Mpofu has left the Red Berets for the Umkhonto Wesizwe Party. Mpofu made the announcement last night in an exclusive interview with the national broadcaster. He now joins a list of high-ranking officials that have deserted the EFF in recent weeks following the departure of then Deputy President Floyd Shivambu, and others that have now crossed over to the less-than-a-year-old MKP include former Public Protector Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane and Mzwanele Mani. In a social media post this morning, EFF leader Julius Malema hinted at the imminent departure of 2 more members of his party. But let's find out from Advocate Mpofu his reasons for going. Of course, we got a hint of it last night. Good morning, by the way, and welcome to the program. We got a hint of it after your interview with the public broadcaster. But how do you feel, Advocate Mpofu?
Good morning, Iman. No, I feel great, it's something that, as I said in that interview, it's not something that just happened overnight. It's something I've been mulling over for quite some time now. But I think the time had come for to make this move. It's not a project for some time, even before it was announced. And at that time, really, it was never my intention necessarily to leave the EFF, because I don't believe that it would have been necessary to do so, because our project is the same, whether you're in MK, whether you're in EFF. But after some of the more recent developments and also the electoral results, it became clear that MK is the primary place where we can drive this project for Black and progressive unity.
I assume then that these are some of the things that went into your soul searching. Are there other issues, other reasons, Advocate Mpofu, that that kind of catalyzed your decision?
Yes, as I say, there were not so much many push factors. So it's not like when I left the ANC, that was certainly because I thought that organization was definitely going to the dogs, and I was quite correct here. But no, this time it's really, as I say, it's a matter of where do I think I can make the best contribution, and which of the progressive organizations do I think has got the biggest potential to unite all of us. I'm not, one of these people about what color of T-shirt you are wearing. I'm more about the cause itself, the broader movement, and I have a very big interest in that, because I do feel that for centuries, the reasons that we have been defeated by our enemy is because we have been fighting in silos, if you like. And they've never really had to face us as a formidable united force. And I think MK carries that promise much better than any other existing alternative.
What I find so surprising also is that all these guys who are leaving EFF, the Floyd Shivambus, the Busisiwe Mkhwebanes, all of them, when they are being asked about leaving EFF, joining MK, then they say one thing. They all say MK is the best revolutionary party currently in South Africa. And now, do you understand what does it do to the psyche of the public towards EFF? What does it say? That simply says EFF is not the real revolutionary party?
By contrast, then, what you are saying is that you don't believe the EFF is that vehicle anymore. Effectively, you're saying they're ineffective in their mission to do what is a very similar agenda or very similar priorities that the MKP has.
No, that's not necessarily what I'm saying. I'm just saying that, look, let's look at it objectively and look at where the greatest potential is. I think anybody who runs any project, whether it's in business or in any sphere, you want to achieve your project in the shortest possible time. And therefore, there might be various alternatives or routes to reach your destination. And any wise person will take the shortest possible route. And I believe that as a people, we, of the existing alternative, particularly its emphasis on this issue of unity, of bringing in even traditional leaders, traditional communities, religious communities, and so on. It might well be that the EFF also has those aspirations, but the question is which of the two has the greatest potential to achieve it with the least amount of effort, as it were. Yeah.
So you also shared that you had been having this conversation, Advocate Mpofu, with former President Jacob Zuma. You say there was a time when only you and the former president knew about this project around the formation of the MKP, and this was 2 years ago in 2022. So would you say that you were part of that brains trust, part of the shaping of the identity of what would become MKP?
Yes, no, most certainly. And as I say, I'm going to be releasing a document that gives all those details later today. And as I say in that document, I was quite honored that he was able to trust me with this mammoth project. I'm sure, as I say, he might have been discussing it with other people, but I know specifically that we had our own one-on-ones for a number of months, and we thought of various options of how to deal with the situation. And some of them were discarded along the way until it took shape in what became MK. And even once that happened, it's public knowledge that the MK Party was registered around June or so last year.
Now, listen to Malima's response to Dali Mpofu.
There was a meeting of the opposition parties, which was called by Zuma. And I said, I'm not going. So I asked Floyd and Marshall to attend the SG. They went and Dali was there. Dali went to make a presentation of a paper in that first meeting where he said the EFF must close down with the other parties and then form something under Zuma's leadership. I mean, things happen the way they happen. I mean, Floyd and Marshall, you know him, he's just there and he speaks when it is necessary. But Floyd is the one who was leading the discussion. Who said, no ways, it's not going to happen, and all of that. And then he comes back extremely shocked that Dali is not only proposing it, he has written it down. He has had time to think about it and wrote it down. So I said, no. So then we agreed that we must meet, all parties must go consult their leadership, blah, blah. What is our position? I said, but that's madness. We can't do that. We closed the EFF to Zuma. Not 1 year. It was not even formed at that time. To what? Like, to do what? I don't understand that. Then perhaps Dali realizes they're not doing a good job. He comes himself to me when they were all there as the officials in the 5th floor. He says, no, he wants to see me. I said, no, sharp, come. But I knew what he was going to tell me. So I brought Floyd and I brought Marshall into the meeting. And then he said that. He says, so I told him, no, it's not going to happen. I don't agree with that. And there's no EFF that is going to close shop. In his skillful way, you know, him said, okay, plus we're late now in the elections. Maybe after the elections, we can engage about it again. I said, no problem. And then, again, Floyd and Marshall went back to the meeting to give their party structures a position. They came back and said to me, the president of ATM, Zungula, said, of all of us here, parties, the only party with a national footprint, which is properly established with machinery, is the EFF. Let's collapse this thing. Let's collapse all of us into the EFF. Olomisa was in that meeting. That president of the PAC was there. I don't know if Carl Neos was there or what. They were all there. I still refuse. I said, I'm not going. I'm not part. I don't agree with that. And then that's what they said. Zungula is the one who said, actually, the EFF is the way. Then Zuma responded and said, no. Can you imagine an old person voting for EFF? These old people will never agree to vote for the EFF. And he told them the footprint of how, if we come together, we're going to get the votes from where, and all of that. And then after the second meeting, we came back. Then they said, no, Zuma wants to see me. 4 eyes. I said, no problem, I'll go. Dali says he's going to come, but I already know what Dali is up to. So I bring Vuyani. I said, Vuyani, let's go together. No, when we entered the meeting, President Zuma asked me to stay in the meeting with him. And then Dali and some other chubby guy, I can't remember what was his name, but he came from President Zuma's side, and Vuyani asked them to excuse us so that we can have a discussion. So I remained with President Zuma. He started making that presentation and all of that. But Floyd told me that in the first meeting, Zuma addressed them for 3 hours. In the second meeting, it was relatively better. He addressed them for 2 hours. So I said, how do you allow that? They said, hey, we're thinking maybe General will stop him or something. Hey, but we sit there and just listen. I said, no problem. So when they said he wants to see me, 10, 15 minutes into the discussion, I interjected him because at the back of my mind was like, you're not going to address me for 2 hours. It's not going to happen. Not 3 hours. I said, no, Baba, but I was thinking, you endorse the EFF. And then after endorsing the EFF, we'll have a proper discussion because we are now late, just on the eve of the elections. And then we can talk about what are the issues that you want us to take up in the immediate and all of that. And then he said, well, it's too late because I'm launching a party on the 16th of December. And I think we're like 3 weeks before that. So hard luck. But let's take up this discussion after the elections. The meeting ended. If it took long, it's 20 minutes. We're done. And then we opened the door for those guys to come back. They were all like, so quick. I was like, no, we know what we want. Because it was not going to happen. I don't regret our position that which we took against President Zuma at the time. And this I asked Floyd if he thinks he has forgiven us for what we have done to him. I don't think he has forgiven us for that. And it doesn't matter, but we were not misled. We're not misled. Everything else we articulated, it was a correct position of the EFF, and it remains the correct position of the EFF. Having developed those positions around Zuma as the EFF, we now say this guy must now be our leader. We can't agree to that. We can't agree to that. So, and that's the thing I respect about Dali, because he has been open about it. He has been speaking about it. And one day, when I write a book, I will have a lot of stories to tell. Even on how Dali became Zuma's lawyer on some of these matters. So this morning, when I woke up to the news, I was like, it is what it is. Yeah, so he has sent me a message. First, he sent me a message about the birthday of his daughter turning 21st. So I didn't respond because I could see what Dali was doing. So I knew if he sends me an invitation to a 21st birthday party, it means he has sent to everyone, which means we're all going to be united under Dali's leadership. And then he's going to project himself as this guy who brought all of them under one roof. So I said, no, I'm not responding because I'm not going there. And then he sent me now a text a few days after that he wants to see me urgently because he knows Parliament is in recess. He can come to the office, or I go to his house, or he comes to my house. I didn't respond. And because we are so used to this now, my wife says to me, he wants to say his goodbyes. No. I'm not good for. I'm not good for goodbyes. So
to the end of
I'm fine. I don't want. So let him do what he wants to do. So we respect his decision, and there's nothing we can do about it. He has been there. I know of the work they've been doing. I know of the work he has been doing and all of that. So this has never been a shock to me. It was just about when is it about to happen. It's going to happen anytime, but we just don't know when. So it eventually happened, and we're fine.
Also hinting to us who is going next. Malema goes on tweet or X. Then he says, only 2 more of your favorites remain, and the list will be finalized. They sing beautifully. They sing beautifully and are always willing to pose for pictures and sign roll calls. But remember, their souls are long gone. To prevent any potential hurt, it's crucial to heed the guidance of the leadership. We remain standing and are not going anywhere under a criminal syndicate. Criminal syndicate, ne? Who are those? Guys, it doesn't take a genius to figure out who Malema is talking about here. Yep, Mutani Ndlozi. Now, guys, what concerns me most about Mutani Ndlozi is this. You will remember recently Ndlozi has been under siege. Ndlozi has recently been attacked by Blade Nzimande, asking him, "Uhamba nini? When are you leaving EFF?" Guys, I never laughed like that. Now, what concerns me about Ndlozi is the silence after that. We all know that Ndlozi is sharp on his feet and he's sharp to respond. But the way Ndlozi went under the tables when Blade Nzimande asked him that question, it concerns me. Could it be that Blade Nzimande hit Ndlozi right where it hurts? I mean, guys, we all know that Ndlozi is very sharp on his feet and he's very sharp to respond on things like that. But Ndlozi just went silent. He just went under the tables, and that concerns me. Check this out.
Minister.
Point of order.
Thank you, Minister. The point of order, I cannot see who it is. Honourable Ndlozi, what is your point of order?
Yeah, with respect, Honourable Deputy Speaker, the Honourable Member read the original question again, literally word by word. She repeated word by word the original question which appears in the question paper. She doesn't have a follow-up.
Honourable Ndlozi.
It's wrong. We're not
Honourable
taking
Ndlozi, please take your chair. Please take your seat. Honourable Ndlozi, the decision to decide whether it is a new question the same question rests with the presiding officer and the minister. So I will leave it to the minister to reply. It is not for members to take points of order on whether the question is now another question or that it is the same question. Thank you. Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Honourable Madam Speaker. Uhlele endaweni wrong ingakho ubuza into esingazazi nje akufanele ngabe usahleli lapha.
This place that is wrong.
Uhamba nini?
Uhamba nini uya? Nabagadile abantu abahambayo.
Honourable.
Nina ngxaki.
Honourable
Honourable members.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, guys. What a question that was. And look at Josie's face. It just finishes me. But come to think of it, guys, Blade Nzimande asked Ndlozi a very good question. Have you ever asked yourself why Ndlozi is still in the EFF, even if he could see that he's not needed there? I mean, Malema has been hinting from the time Floyd left. Malema has been hinting about Ndlozi. Well, if you ask me, I think I know why Ndlozi is still in the EFF and hasn't left yet. You remember this?
Let us not be misled. President Zuma had his chance. 9 years as a president. 10 years as president of the ANC. Did he take the land? No. Did investors come? No. Did unemployment go down? No. Today, he is going to convince me. 783 into na 60. Uzo ekone na 83. Isikhathi phumula mana 83. Amakehla alala 4 times a day, 4 times, as they choose. As they should. He's not going to solve the problems of South Africa now, when he couldn't solve them with all the power for 10 years.
Yep. I think Ndlozi shot himself on the foot when he badmouthed Zuma without knowing what the future hold for him. Obviously now, Ndlozi cannot go to MK, cannot leave EFF and go to MK after bad-mouthing Zuma like that. And obviously, if Ndlozi can't go or can't join MK, where else can he go? He can't go to ANC. Come on. There is no party Ndlozi can be able to go to but MK. But because of his big mouth, now he's trapped. What do you think? Let me hear your comment below, and please don't forget to subscribe.